为什么说看不良影片会改变你的大脑，破坏你的注意力，减少你的多巴胺受体，使你的注意力持续时间比鱼还差，并最终扼杀你的成功？这个视频将帮助你远离这些不良习惯，并且用6个步骤重塑你的大脑。
So for now, let's get into it. The first step is to stop watching porn. First and foremost, you need to stop watching porn. Let me explain to you why. Porn literally fries your brain and robs you of focus. Don't believe me? Just look at the science. There have been multiple studies that link porn usage to the erosion of your prefrontal cortex. You know, that part of your brain that regulates your emotions, your actions, and more importantly, your impulse control and willpower. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. There is a laundry list of negative side effects that have been linked to porn use. Why? Because porn use has similar effects on the brain as substance abuse. Porn has been linked to issues like decreased focus and increased anxiety and depression. Now, as if these problems weren't big enough, porn has also been linked to trouble in long-term relationships and, of course, impotency. In fact, there is an epidemic of young men who are experiencing sexual issues like erectile dysfunction because their brain has been rewired. It's unfortunate because these young men have consumed so much porn that their neural pathways have literally changed. I mean, they've effectively trained themselves to be aroused by watching others do the deed instead of doing it themselves. And porn users even reported that they are less satisfied with their lives than their counterparts who don't watch porn. Now, the second step in desexualizing your brain goes hand in hand with quitting porn. And that is, you need to stop pleasuring yourself. Look, I understand it's addictive and I understand that it's been normalized in today's day and age, but there is nothing healthy or normal about it. And not even because the very act is so terrible as it is with porn. It's actually just because of the consequences of it. You see, every time you do it, your dopamine surges. I mean, you're pretty much signaling to your brain that you have accomplished what is supposed to be man's highest goal, to procreate. You are essentially telling your brain that you've done the most important thing you'll do all day. Now, of course, you and I both know that that's not true, but the neurons firing in your brain do not. And that is why you are rewarded for it. That is why it's cheap dopamine, because you are tricking your own brain into giving you dopamine you have not earned. And that's why your ability to focus and your ability to do hard things plummets. No wonder you can't focus when your dopamine receptors are so fried. This is why you can't focus. I mean, listen, of course everything else will feel boring when you've just done the dirty business. And this is why you need to stop. So you ask yourself, why do so many young men keep doing it? Because they are addicted. They are addicted to cheap dopamine in the exact same way that people get addicted to drugs. I mean, in fact, porn and masturbation are the most difficult addictions to break. Why? Because of the insane dopamine spike that is caused by it. So real quick, let's just look at the data. If you ate a delicious burger or some other carb-filled meal, your dopamine levels will spike by 100%. Now, if you smoke or get some other form of nicotine, your dopamine will spike by 200%. Whereas porn and masturbation boosts your dopamine by over 250%. Now, here's the key difference. Porn and masturbation will then make your dopamine levels fall way below baseline, and that's where those lethargic feelings come from after. That's the exact same dopamine curve you get from drugs. So then that really starts to beg the question, how the hell do you stop? And here is where it gets interesting. You see, an addiction to porn and masturbation isn't actually rooted in anything sexual at all. And that leads us onto the third step of how you can desexualize your brain. Number 3, purpose. Now, they actually did a study where they tried to figure out what causes these addictions. And the answer may surprise you. You see, it wasn't actually any form of perversion. It wasn't childhood trauma. It wasn't extraordinary libido. Instead, it was something far simpler, far more rudimentary. It was meaninglessness. Simply put, if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have something that you are striving towards, then you are more likely to devolve in these addictions. Now, the good news is, it's fixable. Every man should have that purpose, that North Star that drives him forward. You simply need something better to do with your time than give in to your urges. Then, once you have your purpose, you may still slip up. Why? Because there are triggers out there that cause you to do so, and this leads into our fourth step in desexualizing your brain. Step number 4, stop watching soft porn. You see, soft porn can be just as bad as porn because it's everywhere. Everywhere you look, they are destroying your future. And it may seem minuscule to you, but it's not. You see, most of the time, you don't just randomly decide to watch porn. There is a trigger. And that's why the best way to quit porn is by eliminating the triggers that make you watch it. And that means you need to also stop watching soft porn. And every time the algorithm shows you half-naked girls, simply click not interested. Train the algorithm to not show you those things. And listen, of course, the best case scenario is you just quit TikTok and Instagram altogether. Because really, at the end of the day, you have no business looking at memes or whatever else if you are not where you want to be in life and if these social media platforms don't directly help your business. But in any case, the next step you need to take in order to desexualize your brain is to focus inward and not outward. You see, the biggest problem with the sexualization of your brain stems from the changes that are happening in your dopamine system. The sexualization of your brain impairs your ability to do hard work because your brain becomes so used to cheap dopamine. And that's why the next step requires you to learn delayed gratification. Instead of constantly looking outwards for stimulus and dopamine, you need to learn to look inward. Now, you might be asking, what does that actually mean? It means that 99% of people get their so-called happiness by doing fun things, whether those things be as sinister as porn or as innocent as chocolate. But if you truly want to be successful, that cannot be you. Now, I'm not saying that you need to cut every single source of dopamine from your life, but you definitely need to think about what's helping you and what's hurting you. And over the years, I routinely do a dopamine detox. This is where for a certain amount of time, usually between 24 to 72 hours, you do nothing. No food, no phone, not even books or music, and certainly no porn. Just complete stillness. You need to become used to finding peace without these external stimuli, because the goal is for you to be so fulfilled by your work that you eventually get those same dopamine releases by doing hard things. You see, dopamine is nothing but a reward system. It's the way that your brain has evolved to reinforce behaviors that will increase your chances of survival. And that is why sex spikes your dopamine so much, because without procreation, we wouldn't exist. But in today's world, social media and food has hijacked those same systems. And that is why it is your job to regain your control over them. So stop seeking cheap dopamine externally and instead look inward. And that is how you desexualize your brain and realign your actions with your goals. Now, the final thing is you need to stop chasing women and build yourself first. Listen, you will never be able to truly focus inward if you are constantly chasing women. If you're texting this girl, meeting up with that girl, also while thinking about some other girls, you will never be focused. That is not how you desexualize your brain, which is exactly why I always say that you need to stop chasing women and build yourself up first. The best part is when you do eventually build yourself into a man of substance, the women just inevitably come to you. But until you get to that level, chasing women is just a massive waste of time, unless it's your day one girl, unless you know, hey, this girl, this will be my future wife. But if that isn't you, it's a waste of time for